Bologna are flying in real life. An Italian Cup win, pushing for Europe in the Serie A, but today we're going one step further. Welcome to my 10-year Football Manager rebuild, where the goal is simple: turn Bologna into Serie A champions and conquer the Champions League. There was just one problem: the budget was so tight, this was nearly the first ever rebuild I walked out of, but we stuck with it. Youth signings, tactical masterclasses, and a sprinkle of madness. It's all going to come together today. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So then, this is going to be Bologna inside of Football Manager, and this is probably the only rebuild I have nearly completely resigned from because the budgets were absolutely ridiculous. Now, Italian football is known for limited funding. I am fully aware of that, but as you're going to see throughout this video, I did get a little bit annoyed, and it's for justified reason, in my opinion. Now, Bologna at the start of the game are actually quite a good team. They've got 3.5-star reputation, good training, good youth facilities. The owners love the club. They've got some pretty decent players, including Lewis Ferguson, who I'm actually quite a big fan of. You go over to this and, you know, they've won some things. I mean, I see potential, is what I see. I'll be honest with you. Yes, there's trophies in the cabinet, but I want to add a European trophy in there. If I can make it happen, I would actually want it to be the Champions League. But if you said to me 100% chance of a Europa League, I would also take that right now. So we are going to go in with the ambition of winning multiple Serie A titles, multiple Italian Cups, and a minimum of one European trophy. And I do think that is also quite realistic. The tactic we're using is going to be the Bologna 2025. I put this tactic up on my main channel yesterday. Again, at any part of the video you want to get the tactic and the rebuild file and these perks, you can go and head over to the Patreon, where there currently is 20% off and a big monthly giveaway just announced. So make sure you go and get involved. But the idea today is to obviously try and improve the team with as little funding as possible, because we don't get much to spend anyway, and I don't think we're going to see one player brought in that's going to cost me more than about 40 million. I'll be surprised if we can do that today because the funding is so little. Now, we have got some key players in the team that, of course, we can go over. These include the likes of Castro, who I'm going to be honest, might not be the biggest name, but depending on how he develops, can be a very important player for us because he's got the finishing, he's got good composure, quite good with the acceleration and the pace side of the game, and I do think like he does offer quite a little something towards this team. I am a big fan of the wide players we have. I really do like Pedrola. Again, it comes down to money. How much have we got to bring him into the club? Because if he does have a good season, maybe that price tag is going to go up. So I'm not going to get too attached to him for now. Who I will is going to be this man, Big Orsolini, because he is a really big player. He's quick, he's got great mental attributes, good finishing, good dribbling, a nice mixture of stuff you would want for an inside forward. And he is a Bologna player, so he is going to be ours, and I plan not at all in any world to sell him. So he is an absolute vital part of this rebuild. Another vital part is going to be Giovanni Fabian. Now this guy, I'm going to take a gamble on because he can either develop really, really well and almost become a Profundi sort of level player, or he stays like this, and at that point we could question about getting somebody else in. But definitely for the first few seasons, he's going to be absolutely everything. We've got him on contract until 2028, so he's going to have a minimum of 5 years to really prove himself to me, and then we can of course make that decision. Going down the team, you've got Moro, who again, I will say the DM partnership is okay, is probably a good word. I mean, it's not exactly a world-class lineup. The back line, again, I will say the same for. I'm a big fan of Calabria, I will say, a real big fan of him again. Quite quick, decent tackling, and as Italian wingbacks actually go, probably one of the best ones you can get in the league, considering we already have him. Well, we can get him after this loan spell, depending on the value, or maybe not, 14 to 21 million, most likely not. But for a season we've got him. We actually do have, what, is it 4 loanees? We've got a right back, we've obviously got Pedrola on the left, we've got this lad at centre back who, again, depending on the price, I'd probably consider him because he's Italian. Registration is very, very difficult in this league. You need your Italian players. So I will be honest with you, I will be purposely signing some Italians, which might not be a usual go-to signing. Pobega is another player who can be hot, can be cold, but for that price tag, if he does perform even semi-decent, I will 100% pop that and bring him into the club. We do have a few players out on loan, but again, none of them are really right-home players, so you're going to really look forward to having back. The bench is actually quite average, and the finances are quite limited. Back home, you would have had a budget of around £7 million. The club is in £16 million of transfer debt, and just in Spanish football, you don't get a lot of money. Luckily for us, we are playing the first season with no European ties, which is good because we don't have the squad. We are predicted to finish a staggering 10th place in the Serie A. That cannot run. I want to finish minimum in the top 4, to be honest with you, because I want the Champions League money. I want to improve the team, because the team that I see on here isn't awful, but it's definitely not good as well. There is tons of room of improvement. We've got a decade to try and get the job done. I know this tactic is good. Let's get into season 1. Well. We are miles off the top 4. We are going to finish in 9th place. Now, I will be honest, we have had a lot of injuries, and I know I'm going to sound like I'm getting the excuses out early doors, but we have had a really bad season. And what I will say is, we are very far off the top 4. I mean, Lazio clenched the last top 4 place with 71 points. We currently have 57. I mean, we lose 15 games right now. We draw 6 and we only win 17. So a lot of room for improvement. It's not like the tactic test where I switch between variants. I stick with one tactic the entire season, and it's surprising how many sort of draws that could have turned into wins that we don't get because we don't switch. But that is how I do my rebuilds. One system, build that system, and this is a lesson of, you know, something that can go wrong has gone wrong. It's not a great season, but at the end of the day, I knew this journey was not going to be easy. In terms of the Italian Cup, again, we are going to lose in the quarterfinals against a team who are actually 8th in the Serie B, so that is a really shocking season. I'll be honest with you, I did genuinely think we would have got at least top 6, maybe top 7. I want a top 4, but that is really off the mark. I mean, Atalanta also had a poor season, so, you know, congratulations to both of the Milan teams, because they've come out full flying. They've done their job. We really haven't. Now, that will impact the budget. We've practically got pennies. We've got £10 million to spend. The debts and loans have come down a little bit, of course, but that is not a lot of money, considering you've got to factor in that because we're not able to go and sign loads of players, you are going to see a lot of the current players stay at the club because I'm forced to keep them here to have the players here. So that costs money. New contracts cost money. We've now got 3 loanee players, and we're not going to be able to afford all 3. Maybe 2 of them potentially, and the 2 that I think we're going to get, I definitely want to get Calabria. So how much are they going to want for him? Please be about 3 million. If they'll take about 4 million, we can definitely get him. And I think the other player that I might go after, maybe Pobega. I might even pick up this centre-back because he is Italian. He is a decent player. Pedrola, I think, is going to be too much. Maybe not, actually, to be fair. We could look to get him in. So I think all the loanee players are actual justifiable options. None of them are really ridiculously out of the price and range. One thing I will say is this man here, 19 goal contributions. Now, I will say he was, of course, you know, where he's comfortable in the Serie A, but 19 goal contributions, despite a poor league finish from Salento, is still really strong. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully he can come back and chip in with some of the goals. And Doy on the bench, 6 and 7, isn't a bad return either. A player who's got a little bit of value as well. We sort of need that because we haven't got any value anywhere else. Player stat-wise, I mean, it's pretty reserved. When you finish in 9th place, you're not going to have a player set light to the league. So, honestly, not too many positives for me to really talk about in Season 1. Other than the fact of, I guess it's going to make the rebuild interesting because we've not really achieved anything in Season 1, and we can probably pinpoint nothing. We're the 9th best at scoring, the 10th worst when it comes to, or the 10th worst at scoring, the 9th best at goals conceded. So, you know, not great at anything, to be honest with you. Also a ton of bookings in that regard, so we need to go and improve this team, but I'm not even going to lie to you. I genuinely think by the time we spend our money on bringing in the right back and one of the other players, I think we're going to be spent up because we've got players on short contracts that I have to keep here just to have them. And signing one is going to be that right back I was after in Davide Calabria, coming in from AC Milan, a team that had a very strong season. They were willing to let him go. He comes in for 6 million. He actually somewhat improves his average rating in playing less games as well. Now, again, this would not be a go-to player usually. He is 28, so he's on the older side, but he's just one of the players that we can afford that I know will work. So this isn't a luxury signing by any means of the imagination, but it is a consistent signing that I can bet my money on that he will do decent over the next few years. Is he going to be in the team in the next 8-9 years? Maybe not. He'll be pretty old then, but for now he is a perfect player to go and have. And the other player we got is actually going to be this man here. That is going to be the Italian centre-back, and I capped the spending there because we've already spent enough money. He comes in for £6 million as well. He once again improves on his previous season. He's actually a really good player. He's not the quickest centre-back, but he makes up for it with good heading, good tackling, good marking. He's a bit of a, I don't want to compare him to Harry Maguire, but a bit more sort of just positional than, catching up to forward players and wingers and stuff like that. If you play him alongside of a quicker centre-back, you are going to be completely fine. So hopefully we've got one of those in the team. But realistically, we've brought in no new players. We've only got the players back that were loaned out, and we've brought in 2 of the loanees. We also have this lad go out on the free. Again, not really meaning too much to us. I honestly don't know if we even improve here because there's no direct upgrade. We improve by a place. We are going to finish in 8th place, so I mean, it is an improvement, but we are still so many points off that Champions League place. 13 points off, to be fair. I mean, it is a lot of points. This time, we're going to win 18 games, draw 8, and lose 12. Once again, it's just about the... I mean, it's going to sound common sense, but we're losing too many games. And I mean, some of these games aren't exactly all against top teams, We're losing to Parma, Sassuolo, who are right behind us, Salanto, who, where are they? They're in 10th place. Cagliari, they're going to be in 14th place. We're losing to teams that are even below us, so... what can we expect? You're not going to expect a Serie A winning season. In terms of players for us, we've not got a single player in the stat lines, apart from clean sheets, to be fair, which is surprising. And Orsolini, let me just be a bit positive, actually. I've written the team off too early. Orsolini is going to be in the assists, which does surprise me because we don't really have much of a bagsman up front. The goalkeeper also done incredibly well. Again, though, an issue. He's 34. We're going to have to get a younger goalkeeper in. Apart from that, we aren't going to be too active. Lautaro Martinez, Dusan, Moise Kean, and Nicola are going to be your top goal scorers. Where are we in that? Are we anywhere near... oh, dearie me, we are down in joint 8th place with our attacking midfield player, let alone our pressing forward. So, not the best in that regard. And the Cup, again, another quarter-final exit, this time against AC Milan. So, I'm not going to be as annoyed with the team that we went out against, but it is the same sort of, not getting to the latter stages of the competition. But, I mean... it's technically an improvement. I feel like I'm scamming when I say that because it is literally 1 place improvement and we're not even in any European competition. And it's very much like the Amorim situation now with United. Now you've got a season with no European football. You need to improve your league place because you've got less stress. We've had that less stress and we've not made it work. So hopefully that's different for Amorim in real life. But this season, again, is just showing how slow this rebuild might actually be. And money-wise, we've got a budget of 14 million, which again might seem fair because we haven't won anything, but it is so restricted. When you factor in, we're going to worry about all the contracts from 2026 upwards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players, and at the moment I'm keeping all of them because we can't afford to go and sign other players. We haven't got the money to do it, and if we have, they're not going to be much quality. So I think the sensible and logical thing to do here is to go and pick up free agents, if there is any. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. In fact, let's just go and have a quick browse. We've got 14 million. We'll go and have a quick look. Jude Bellingham, I don't think we are going to sign Jude Bellingham. Let me tell you that. Let's just go and see who is available on the free. Is it going to be anyone? I don't really fancy Quincy Promes expiring. Jonathan David could be a very good shout. I would take him in the team. How has he been performing? He's been all right. He's not been the best, but I would take him on the free. So maybe that could be someone, because Castro's not exactly. He's getting 13 and 2, which is okay, but he's not exactly doing incredible things. Quite good out of Orsolini, Ferguson as well. And Doy on the left side, enjoying a great season. Fabian 16 and 8 is the star man. Silverstreet there 1 and 5. Carlson 2 goals as well. You're not going to have record-breaking stats when you finish in 8th in the league, but I mean, it's good to see that the front line is somewhat chipping in with goals. But if we can get Jonathan David, I'm going to take it. But let's face it, we're not going to be the only team in for him. We can't pay that high wage, and there's probably a team that are in European football that is going to choose over us. And we are going to have one signing that is going to be Jonathan David, and it was one incredible signing as he picks up 30 goal contributions in his first season. 22 goals and 8 assists. A very good average rating, but to have him at the club, we did have to pay him £65,000 a week. You might be thinking, Josh, that's not bad. And it's not bad, but by the time we give the contracts to the other players, this was all we could afford. But do you know what? I did spend time looking at the other options on the market, and there was not a better player that we would have got within that budget, including having to pay his wage. So the fact we've got a player here on the free that is valued between 38 and 50 million, he's a man with 15 finishing, 14 composure, great physical attributes, and clearly can do it in the Serie A. I think we've done quite well. And right into the Italian Cup, a big switch up in performance. And I tell you what, look who is going to get the first goal. Big Jonathan David goes through and slots it in to the bottom right-hand corner against a very strong-looking Inter Milan team. The downside, Inter Milan aren't just going to take it. They're going to bounce back in the 87th minute here. A little bit lucky there with the ball through. Never ever saving that. And you are about to see another piece of Bologna heartbreak. In the last kick of the game, the 94th minute, practically 95th minute, Hakan Çalhanoğlu plays it through, and that's an awful way to lose. Something has happened. We are joint first with Juventus for that league title, and this is the first playoff leg. As you can see, that is going to be at our home advantage. We are going to draw it 1-1, so we've got to go away now for a chance to win the Serie A title. That is now 2 very big finals. So we went with confidence to Turin, a real shot to win a league title, and sadly, Juventus on the day were just too much, guys, okay? They get a goal here in the 25th minute. We played really bad. I'm going to be honest. They scored quite early on. They had control the whole game, and a lapse of concentration there. One ball over the top. They're going to go through, and they're going to get the job done. We have not got any bottle at all. And that wraps it up. Juventus are going to be the league winners. And the Italian Cup we also lose. That is 2 chances to win 2 massive Italian trophies. And as you can see, we did have a great season. We pushed the limits. I mean, there is actually one incredible race on there. AC Milan 85, Inter Milan 85, Bologna 86, Juve 86. If there's one thing Serie A does in this game, it gives you a great title race. Jonathan David comes in, your top goal scorer. We've got Orsolini, your top assister. We are having players now be quite in there with the stat lines, but to not win one of these is a real kick in the teeth, because it would have been nice to even lift the Italian Cup and maybe miss out on the league. Obviously I'd rather the league, but it may be a little bit greedy to have it so early on, but to lose both is a real heartbreaking scenario. And you know, money wise, we've not gained anything from doing that. If we would have won the league or the cup, maybe we'd have 30 million, 28 million, something like that. We've now got 14 million, which we don't even have because, you know, our wage budget, we've more got about 12.5 million. The debts and loans are creeping up a little bit because, of course, we are having to sign some players, but I've kept it very strict within the spending. So that debt, I can't really do much more about it because I do need to have an 11, guys. I do need to bring in players. And again, I need to keep bringing in players, but with a transfer budget like that, where do I go? What do I do? Because we're not going to sign many high-quality players that can really improve us, and it really hurts because we're now second in the Serie A. We've got to an Italian Cup final, and I can't improve the team to keep us in that position or go on and improve. I need a goalkeeper now. Who can we sign? With that money, I don't even know if we can get anyone of quality. I need a goalkeeper. You know, our backline's only getting older. I need players for the future. luckily, present time, we've got some good performers. 24 and 9 from David, brilliant. Fabian, 15 and 11, brilliant. Orsolini, 16 and 15, brilliant. Ferguson, 20 goal contributions, brilliant. Miranda, 11 and 13, very, very good. But these players are only getting older. I need money to bring in the younger generation, because I keep looking at my under-21s, under-19s, and it is not happening, people. It is not happening. Let's not forget, our youth facilities and youth recruitment aren't exactly record-breaking. They're not exactly insane. So there is a lot of pressure now on this rebuild, because we've just nearly reached the pinnacle of Italian football, and we've not been given the backing to even have another run at it. So we spent sensibly again. I mean, he was the only goalkeeper on the market for this price tag of £12 million. He's actually done quite well, to be fair, and he is young. He's 26, so he is a good Serie A player. He wouldn't have been my go-to. There were better players on the market, but I mean, with this spending allowance, we could nowhere near afford them. So I've done what I can, but I don't know how good this is going to be for us going forwards. He's already close to his full potential, but that is probably the best we're going to get until we can win a league title. But talk about restricting me. Yeah, they're definitely doing that. Off to the Super Cup final, the Italian Super Cup final against Juventus, and a chance for a small piece of revenge. Or will it be that? Because they're going to get the lead. A great goal there from Dusan inside of 15 minutes. But luckily this time, we are going to bounce back, and we are going to get ourselves into a pretty good position, because whatever happened there, I don't know. It was awful. A lump back in the box. And this game, it's going to pens, baby. It is going to pens. And we are going to get things going with Miranda. Great penalty into the top right-hand corner past an injured Perrin. Vindy's going to step up, and it is a great save from the new goalkeeper, earning his wages already. Jonathan David is going to step up and absolutely lash it into the top left-hand corner. Coop Miners, decent penalty into the bottom right-hand corner. Orsolini not put a foot wrong all season, and he isn't going to again. A great pen into the top left. Fabio Vieira steps, and again a pretty neat penalty where credit is due. We are now going to step up again, and it is a good penalty, although Perrin definitely looks injured. Locatelli steps up, and again a very good penalty into the bottom left, but we take it 5-3. So we have won the Italian Cup. Trophy 1 in the cabinet. Also going to achieve Champions League football, which is really, really good. Obviously, we did last year as well, so we've got to see how we done in that competition. But regardless of how well we done in that, we are going to have another chance anyway. Fabian is going to be your joint top goal scorer with Dusan. Our goalkeeper, our new goalkeeper, your third most clean sheets. Miranda, your top assister, which is really good to see. And you know what? Although we are now very far off the league title, I'm happy we have won a trophy. All that being an Italian Super Cup, I am very, very happy. And the other competitions, they're okay. I mean, this is really good for a first year in the Champions League, although we get battered 6-2 against Paris Saint-Germain. The round of 16, we do get past Atletico 5-1, which is a bit of a statement. The league phase, we do get out of with wins over Villarreal, Salzburg, some pretty easy teams as well. Draw against PSV and lose against Liverpool. So probably what you'd expect, to be honest. The Italian Cup, we can't really get the job done in yet, but we are only in 2027. Napoli too strong on the day on penalties, so a bit of karma for us winning one. We lose one on pens. So overall, I'm going to take that as a positive season. Champions League football, an okay display in the Champions League, a trophy which, you know, I'm not going to be funny, you can't complain about in the Italian Super Cup. That's pretty positive in my opinion. Nice to see we've now got under 10 losses as well in the league. That is a big, big thing. And I mean, money-wise, again, £13 million. I can't do much with 13 million. I don't know if I'm making it clear, but every time we have to go into another season, we've always got players coming up with short contracts, which I do want to keep at the club, because I can't bring in enough players. If they all go on the free, go for little transfer fees, I can't replace them. But the downside is, look at some of the ages in here. 2028 upwards, 30 years of age, 36, 33, 35. We are naturally losing players due to age, and we've not even got the money to replace them. This team is either going to stay somewhat here, or it's going to crash eventually, because I love the team on paper. Don't get me wrong, little bit by bit, I'm gaining more confidence in what I see. Two of our own signings in Jonathan David and Heddle the goalkeeper have been absolutely incredible, but we need more budget to work with. And I'm sorry, it's as simple as that. On paper, we might look okay, but to challenge for a league title, a Champions League, with 14 million? Nah, it's not going to happen. So we have got 4 signings. 3 of them are free agents. This is the only non-free agent. It is going to be Raul coming in from Dynamo for 6.7 million. The most I dare spend, to be honest. He comes in, drops a decent average rating, plays 21 games, and again, is just an option between left-back and centre-back. One of the key things when you've got a limited budget is to sign people who can play multiple areas, because you're not guaranteed to have enough to sign a left-back and centre-back. This guy at left-back might get run at, I'll be honest, but at centre-back, he's honestly really, really strong. Played quite well for, you know, a player who was his first time in Italy, to be fair to him. So I'm hoping, again, a very unorthodox signing, I am aware, but please bear in mind, we're working with crumbs here. However, this guy, I will say, is not working on crumbs. He comes in on the free, don't get me wrong, and doesn't even play a game. Now, or was he not registered? No, he was registered because he takes a slot up. He was registered and he doesn't even play a game, which surprises me a fair bit. But again, I am going down a business side now. Whenever there's a good free agent, I'm picking them up. And I'm not always picking them up for performance, because I can sell this guy for minimum £20 million, 20 million that I can reinvest into the team. But to be honest with you, I might even lock this guy in so he does play, because he looks really, really good. Probably, based off the ability, probably one of our best DMs. Ruben van Bommel, the man who I hope can come in and do it all. And I'm seeing 29 goals. He is a man that can deliver. 29 and 15, 7.87. And this guy's a £60 million player. He is a £60 million player on the free. I have never signed him before. I looked at him on the free and I thought, if I don't get him, I'm going to regret it. And oh boy, I would have regretted it. He is electric when it comes to dribbling, taking on players. The composure's there, the finishing's there. He's 23, so really good for a bit of an aging squad. And genuinely, a no-brainer. Like a complete no-brainer. Lastly, another £60 million man, a bit older, 28. We are going to sign Kamara, of course, former Marseille and Villa man. He comes in, drops a great average rating, 10 goal contributions. This is what I am talking about. Look at the mental attributes, look at the technical, look at the physical. He is an elite midfield player who, again, we spend £0 on. And once again, even if he didn't play well, and even with him playing well, a club can come in now, offer me 70, 80 million. I can have that decision to think, oh yeah, that could be a couple of new gens for the future. Sometimes you've got to find ways to make money, and winning league titles does obviously do that. Winning trophies does that. But this is also another way, and it is pretty much our only strategy to move forward. So you can look at this in 2 ways. We have welcomed in 4 fresh faces. Only 3 of them really played, so let's say 3 fresh faces. Is that going to affect the team cohesion? Is it going to affect the league placement? Only time's going to tell. Let's go and see. Well, we have won the Serie A. We have won the Serie A in the year of 2028, and it is going to be Van Bommel, your top goal scorer and your top assister, the most player of the matches and the average rating. It is the Van Bommel show. If we didn't make that free agent signing, we would genuinely be, well, based off that impact alone, we wouldn't have won the league, because there is literally, 80 points, 81, 84? It could have went to one of those teams. A big shout out as well to Heddle, because he's keeping it up in goal. But do you know what? The Van Bommel effect is in full flow. As we also make it to another sort of Italian final. This time we do lose it, sadly, but once again, really, really good to be in it. That's the main thing. We are now being consistent. Champions League much better as we breeze through the league phase. We then play United, who have recently gone under a bit of a bad European game, which we're not going to talk about. We do beat them 4-2. Into the quarterfinals, we are going to go ahead and beat Arsenal 4-1, which you love to see. And the semi-finals, we are going to beat PSG. We're playing Man City. this is going to be a scrappy one. And it is a scrappy one, let me tell you that, because we are now currently inside of the 22nd minute, and it is one of the worst mistakes you are going to see from Casale. Doku goes through, and it is an absolute freebie. It really, really is. What I will say is, luckily, Heddle has got potentially one of the best kicks in the game, almost Ederson-like. David goes through and lashes it into the bottom left-hand corner. A goalkeeper assist and an equaliser in the UCL final. Man City now trying to play out from the back with Bellingham in the team. He loses possession. Fabian over the top into David, and we're going to go through, and that is going to be us taking the lead in the 95th minute. Surely, extra time goal means everything. Well, it doesn't. Man City being Man City, they always find a way. Oscar Bob, great bit of play here. And I do think the keeper has to do better. But that goal equals penalties. Again, can we win a penalty shootout on the biggest stage of them all? It's a good penalty from Castro to start, but Man City have got a world-class team. Their new man Bellingham, he's not going to miss. Let's be realistic. Coulson, currently injured. It's not a great penalty, and Ederson is going to give them the advantage. Jones is going to step up for them. Heddle, oh, nearly. Not close enough, though. And Man City are going to look very strong right now, as it is going to be Orsolini sticking one into the top right. Oscar Bob, awful penalty, back level. As long as we can score this next penalty, things are going to look up and good, and we do just. Ederson read it, but he did miss it. Saliba steps up. He also sticks it into the same area. A good penalty. Morrow is then going to step up as well, and it is currently every shot going down the right-hand side. Rodri is going to step up, switches sides, and switches the goalkeeper's decision as well. And this penalty shootout is going the distance. It is going, to be honest, whoever wins this deserves to win it, because there's a lot of good penalties being taken here, and some good saves as it carries on going. And I mean, we're currently now on our centre-backs. We are really working our way through the team as Diaz steps, and I mean, these are quality penalties. Don't get it twisted. Torrente steps up, great penalty again into the bottom left, but we do come out of it on top, a 7-6 UCL win. And that is going to complete easily the most memorable season. We are talking a Serie A title, a Champions League win, and an Italian Cup. And let me just say this now, if I look at that transfer budget and I don't see 40 million, I will bankrupt this club and I'll use installments. I do not care. 40 million, 3, 2, 1, big. 75 million. Now that I can work with. We can spend money with that. So do you know what? More than happy. I'm not going to complain, and I've got the man that I want in my head right away. Because although we have got decent centre-backs, we haven't got like a world-class centre-back. And I think to be consistent over the upcoming seasons, we need a good, young, consistent, almost semi-pre-built centre-back. And there is tons of options on the market. Apart from that, this is all about just building the team up. But attacking-wise, we are simply lovely. Miranda, 10 and 15 from left-back. Incredible. We've then got Orsolini, 20 and 16, Fabian, 23 and 15, Van Bommel, 33 and 20. If you have not signed this guy, go and get him. Jonathan David, 25 and 10. Ferguson, 13 and 13. The bench players also chipping in really, really big. So every signing we're making is working right now, and that is a real positive. A real positive. So let's get into the next season, season 6, and try and go and spend some of this money. I've invested heavy in centre-backs, okay? We are going to pick up Diamande. Now, I know it's a generic signing, a lot of people signing, but it is for good reason. He comes in for 41 million, drops a good average rating, plays every game in the league. He was pretty much prioritised for that league position. He is on a big decline, which is quite worrying, but I'm sure that will level itself out. He is a really good option to bring in, and I've invested big time in the back line because we don't only pick up him, we also pick up this man here. Now, we only spend 53 million in my defence, and this is going to be a player for the future who currently can't play this season because of slots available. So I am going to put him just for this season in the under-20 team so he can go and play there, at least play some football. But I've got to remember to get him back out because the guy looks absolutely incredible. As you can see, we also do lose a few players here. A few players on the free. We do actually get a little bit of money here for this lad who looks quite promising, to be fair, but obviously I let them sort of deal with the younger transfers. But to be honest, not really any massive losses, but one real big game for this season in Diamande, and the pull we have now got to sign from Chelsea, who are having a good time in England in this save, I will be honest, shows that we are getting somewhere, and we've also prepared for the future, which again is really important for this team, and it just helps the overall backline. We've now got 2 younger centre-backs. Diamande is 25, I understand that, but that is quite young compared to what we have got, so can we maintain and retain that league title? I'll give it a go. Oh, we can't. And you know what? We can't by some distance. I tell you what, AC Milan enjoyed a great season. I'm not gonna take anything away from them. We can't retain that title. Van Bommel is still gonna be in there. Kamara's gonna be in there. Fabian's gonna be in there. I mean, Heddle's gonna be in there as well. Orsolini. Our players are playing well individually, but we simply didn't put it together over a whole season. Can we maintain the Champions League title? No, we can't. We are going to lose in the quarterfinals against Barcelona 3-2, which, you know, is some drop-off from winning the Champions League. Who did we have in the round of 16? RB Leipzig, so not the toughest life in the Champions League until we play Barcelona, who I must say, Hansi Flick in charge, still absolutely flying. Victor Osimhen up front, Yamal, Olmo, Pedri, De Jong, Varela. Yeah, that team's nuts. Fair play. But yeah, a bit of a fall from grace. But we are going to be in the Italian Cup final, playing at Rome against Inter Milan. I tell you what, this is honestly one of the better finals we have put together. A great start from Fabian inside of 5 minutes. And after this goal went in, I just got that vibe that Inter Milan really weren't up for the game today. And we went right away down the right-hand side, and we just kept the same sort of play. That is a very direct approach, but I don't mind it because it's paid off. And that's one thing this tactic offers so well, is creative spark, creative freedom. The players are allowed to go and do it, and this right hand side I actually started to focus down because they're absolutely awful defending. Their left side is a target, obviously our right side, completely go after them, and pretty much all 4 of the goals, a 4-0 win, every single goal come from targeting their side. It's a complete weakness. The first time of asking, we are going to win the UEFA Super Cup 4-1 over Frankfurt, so that's also an added bonus. And the other cup is going to be the Super Cup that we do go and win 3-1 over Inter Milan. So we do really top Inter Milan in every regard. The league, the Italian Cup, the Super Cup, we really do push on and pretty much embarrass them, to be honest with you. AC Milan just a little bit stronger in the league, but I mean, in terms of money, we've gone back to having pretty poor budgets, and we've got to be careful because of this thing down here. So we've got to, you know, be quite restricted in this next window. But I mean, team-wise, don't get me wrong. I know we didn't win the league, we didn't win the Champions League, but having Diamande in the team obviously helped a consistent season. We still won 3 trophies, and you've got to remember that at the end of the day. The front line still enjoyed themselves. I mean, everyone in the front 4 scored above 27 goals, or 26 if you want to be petty. A very, very good season for the entire front 4. I really like this pairing between Kamara and Ferguson. The back line doing great. I mean, Miranda is really going under the radar right now. 24 goal contributions. A really strong player. Again, guessing on the older side, but for now, is doing his job to the highest level. The bench also chipped in big time, which is really, really good to see. And we have got, of course, our young centre-back that I have dragged back into the team when I can find him. I've sort of forgot his name, which is a little bit embarrassing. I'll try and go and find him in a second. You know who I'm talking about. We'll make sure he's back in the team. I forgot his name. That's some manager right there. In fact, let's just go and do this. We'll go and do this and see. This man, Gabriel, he is going to be with us for the next season. So that is already feeling a bit like a signing, which is a positive because we don't really need any more centre-backs for now. So I'll see what I can do, but this might be a no-signing window because I've got contracts coming up, and we've not even got 18 million really. We're more around 16. Yeah, not good. So we really had no money to spend, I'm going to be honest, but we did loan in Rooney Bargi. Now, it cost us about 2.6 million to even loan him in, and he didn't even play a game. And I'm going to be honest with you, he was registered. He can play anytime that he wants, and he didn't even play a game. So that is a big waste of 2.6 million. Maybe you can say, Josh, you're stupid. You should have locked him in. I thought he would have got a look into the team, being Bargi, but that is £2.6 million that they are never going to see again. Not pretty. But maybe he done something in the cups. Maybe. Well, in terms of the actual league table, we are going to tie with AC Milan once again, and we go to another sort of position playoff for first place, and we lose it. An 8-goal game, by the way, over 2 legs. We lose on penalty, so that is as close as you will ever get to beating a team in this league. Again, Fabian, who has probably been, I'm going to say it, our most consistent player. This is the best version you can get out of him. This is the Profundi level Fabian. He is genuinely toe-to-toe with Profundi if he develops correctly, and of course, he has done in this save. So, he's enjoying a great time. We've got Orsolini and Miranda in the assists. Heddle is going to be a joint top clean sheet. So this could have gone either way, guys. I'm not too annoyed because both teams deserve this. I mean, we've got an identical record. Even the goal difference is basically the same. So, I mean, it was deserved. I mean, either team, whoever won on the day deserved to win. And it's as simple as that. The rest of the competitions wasn't too pretty, apart from the Italian Super Cup that we win on penalties over AC Milan. Runners-up in the Italian Cup against AC Milan. Yeah, AC Milan are the bane of my existence. The round of 16 in the Champions League, again, another step back. We don't even really get that far at all, to be honest. We get through automatically, but we don't stay that long when it comes to the knockouts. And do you know what? It's a season of not too much in terms of wins, but, I mean, we were very good in the Serie A, just not good enough. We won the Italian Super Cup. It's a final in the Italian Cup. Would I feel better if we won the Italian Cup? Not that much better, so I'm not going to have too much worry about that. Would I feel better if we won the league? Yeah, of course I would, but we didn't, and that's the harsh reality. And I imagine money-wise, yeah, 19 million again, more like 17. It's not, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy this because I understand, obviously, when we won the league, we've got a big budget and maybe that's what we've got to keep doing that. But there's a certain element of you need to keep putting some money in for me to be consistent, because even on that window, when we got that money, I only spent 53 million out of the 70 odd that we had. I didn't spend that much. And that has not been reinvested back into my pocket to go and spend. So, not happy at all, to be honest with you. I mean, as a team, Bargy, that would be cup competitions, actually dropped 7 and 8. So, he done something to a good level. The Wonder Kid centre-back done pretty good, to be fair. Above a 7 average rating. But Bargy, why would he not get in the team? But I'm not going to sign him because we have not got the money. So, I mean, this is more like a realistic lineup. To be honest, get Orsolini right in there, actually. The front line kept up the consistency. Orsolini, not as many goals, but then Bargy did play some of the cup games, so it makes sense. Miranda had a great season. Calabria had a great season. He is now wanted by... Ooh, that could be tempting, depending on the money. Ooh, that could be tempting, depending on the money. And who is this? Posh. He only doesn't play too much. He can go. He can get sold. So we might recover a little bit more money on top of what we have got, but it's not going to be much, let me tell you that. So we're probably going in, best case scenario, if you factor in the couple of sales we might do there, with 28 million, 30 million, which isn't enough to go and really sign any new gens, unless you get the 11.5 million ones, basically the release clause ones. The ones where they're not quite well established to know what you're getting, so they're a big gamble, but I think that's probably the path we're going to take, so cue the next season. So we're going to welcome in 2 players, and I have gone out and found a perfect example of a wonder kid who has not been... He's played 12 games for Benfica, and it's a gamble signing at £12 million. To be fair to him, he has returned 15 goal contributions, and he does look really strong. I personally don't see a weakness in him. I don't know if any of the FM experts out there can tell me why he would be this cheap, but that was pretty much what they'd sell him for, so I thought I'd take the gamble. I need a young left back. He jumps right into the team, and for me... he doesn't look half bad, and the other signing is just going to be Tingen Begende. I believe I said that right. He is just a free backup striker, so not too much to talk about. A few players here going out on the free, of course, Fabio as well. A couple of our younger players are going to leave, but I mean, to be honest, it's not a great transfer window, but we have welcomed in a starting left back and a backup striker who hopefully can bag a few goals. You can probably tell I'm not confident. Well, first final, first loss. A 2-0 loss against Juventus. Italian Cup, another final, another 2-0 loss. Yeah, this is going to be some season. The Champions League, the round of 16 against Tottenham. They win the Europa League. They've now got incredible confidence. Once again, another disappointment. But thanks to an immaculate goal here from Orsolini in the 63rd minute in a playoff game once again to win the title, we are going to get the job done 1-0 in the second leg. And that completes finally, we've won an actual final, because we've lost 2 this season. We are going to go back and beat AC Milan in a revenge game 3-2, which is absolutely massive. Now, in terms of the league table, we are talking, again, obviously a close season. 98 points, both teams on, and the player that I said was a backup striker, maybe first team. 28 goals from him, which is quite something. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I come out of holiday halfway through the season and noticed he was bagging them in, and I actually changed the tactic for him. I have a target forward in the tactic, or a poacher actually, purely for him, and that has actually paid off, so don't count backup strikers out, I guess. I mean, it's a great season, and the guy actually goes on to score 35 goals, 6 assists. Van Bommel, 27 and 25, Fabian, 26 and 14, Orsolini, 21 and 21, Kamara, 5 and 15, Ferguson, 15 and 8. That is a really strong season. I mean, Jonathan David becomes a backup striker with 10 and 9, but when you've got a player like this lad here bagging them goals, he can keep getting game time. That does not bother me, because we are back on top in the league. As annoying as it is to lose in 2 finals, it is 2 final appearances. The real disappointment is that Champions League, because we've got to now go back till 2027 when we last were actually, well, even in the final. So that might be our one-off moment, to be honest, in this video. Money-wise, 20 million. 20 million is what we've got, guys. Do you know what? I'm not even going to waste time talking about it. That is an absolute joke. But I said stuff that I will sign a player, and we did use installments. We are going to pick up Johnny Solazano, coming in from PSG, a 23-year-old right back this time. A bit more pricey. Again, £15 million, but after the add-ons, it is above 30. I have breached the limits a little bit. But we've earned it. That's what I'm going to say. We've earned it. He's going to come in, and this guy, I will say, similar to the left back, doesn't look too out of place. He's got great tackling. I mean, if you're worried about little things, maybe like, I don't know why you would, but jumping reach, I mean, I can accept him not having the best sort of heading and jumping. He's not going to be in too many aerial battles anyway. He looks really, really strong. So I'm hoping we have now got a really good left back, a really good right back. They both should chip in with the assists, and to be fair, he somewhat did in the league. I am not going to complain. And for the first time in history, I think it is in history, we have won the league title back-to-back. And it is going to be the backup striker as our top goal scorer anyway in the league with 21 goals. We have got no players in the top assists. Heddle has been Mr. Consistent in goal. In fact, shout out to this guy, because I was worried he was not going to be enough. He is now 31, by the way. Time flies. But he has been such a good player for us in this league. And honestly, without him, I don't know where we would be. But this is good now, because we now might be this dominant team, and this is what we need, a bit of Italian dominance, because don't get me wrong, like we've been runners-up 3 times in a row, but to win it back-to-back, it just feels different. And a big improvement in the Champions League. This time all the way to the semis, and we only lose out by 1 goal to get to the final, where granted, we would have played Real Madrid, it would not have been easy, but we could have got it done. But that I am going to take for now. We also go on to win this. 2 other Italian Cups. The actual Italian Cup 4-0 over Inter Milan, and the Super Cup 2-1 over Juventus. So that is going to be the Italian treble. We absolutely love to see it. Money-wise, it's not bad, it's not good. We've got 36 million. We might be able to pick up another new gen potentially. One thing I will say is I have not had the money in this rebuild to bless you with a team of new gens for the future. So the FMers out there, you're going to have to sort of step up to the mark and take over if you do want to carry on this save file, because we are doing well. We've actually got a good team. I mean, if you look at it on paper, we are slowly introducing new gens, or if they're not new gens, they're younger players. Like across the back line, Diamande was a younger player. Of course, we have got a new gen centre-back in this man right here, who, to be fair, played quite a lot of games last year. So if we drag him in next to Diamande, we've almost got an entire new gen backline. But it would be nice to bring some attackers in that are new gens, purely for your future if you are carrying on, and purely to try and just boost up the young age a little bit, because we have got a bit of an aging squad. That is the only downfall to having limited finances. You can't always bring in the real good young players. And I tell you one thing, I have been looking all the time in my under-21s, development centre, the whole lot. We have had a grand total of 0 hot prospects. We're having to buy our young talent. So let's get in to Season 10. It is Season 10 of this rebuild with 36 million. And let's just see what we can do. If you want what I want for the last season, I want another Champions League. So then, our last free signing of the video is going to be Naipan. Coming in on the free, 22 appearances, a couple of goals, and just a decent performer. Now, he is 26, which is actually still quite young for our team, and I thought, just to bolster the sort of rotations in the midfield, it makes complete sense. I mean, he didn't really have a great time at PSG, so no wonder why he was happy to come to us. And do you know what? I think for a sort of backup player, or for a potential bit of business, it made quite a bit of sense. For £15 million, we are going to pick up a bit of a backup winger who actually played 35 games, so hats off to him. 7 goals, 8 assists, dropped a decent average rating, and once again a player who is maybe not one of the best new gens in the world, but the best that we can afford, and that's sometimes okay, because I actually quite like him. He's not the best I've ever seen, but he comes in his first year in Italy, and he performs relatively well. And this player, I think, looks mustard. For the price we paid 14 million. Yes, the returns aren't the best, I will be honest, but he, of course, is a backup to Fabian in that area. A few years younger, I think 5 years younger. So much needed in the team. Physically, the guy's incredible. Mentally, he's also quite strong. Technically, I will be honest with you, I usually want better passing, but it's okay for now. He is close to his full potential, but can grow a little bit. You can train him to improve that passing. And he is 24, so I mean, he's still got, what, 7-8 years before you start to see a decline? I think it made sense to do. And I mean, we wrap up the last window spending a total of 29.5 million. We have not actually had a window where we've really broken the limits too much. 29, 15, 12... 2.6, 53, that is the biggest one, 6.7, 12, 0, 12. You can add up the entire 10 windows. I have spent that easily in one of my past rebuilds, and I mean easily, but can we just try and win one more UCL? Well, the Italian Cup, we are not going to win again, so that is going to be a finalised sort of trophy. We win it a staggering 2 times out of 10, but if we would have clutched up in the finals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could have won it 7 times. We sign off in style in the Italian Super Cup, a 2-0 win over AC Milan. We do win that a lot of times, to be honest. We are going to win it, what, 5 times out of 6 potential opportunities? I can't be angry with that. Champions League, the dream is gone. It's gone. I mean, yeah. And what a way to go out against Benfica. What a way. Yeah, 1 UCL in 10 years. Do you know what? I'm not even annoyed, because I think I've been done with the transfer budgets. I do think I've been done by them. Do we win the league? Come on. Okay, that's good. We win the league again, so we are going to win the league 4 times out of 10 years, which honestly, I will take any day. This man up front is a bit of a menace, considering he was a free signing. By the way, if you've never used him, I would recommend, because he's got great finishing, great composure. Yes, he's not the quickest, but if you play him in that poacher role, the guy poachers. He scores goals and he does what he says on the tin. I mean, Heddle as well has been really, really strong. Lucas Zapata, who is our left back, had a great last season, so fair play to him. And this is going to be the finalised team on paper. You are going to have Heddle, Solorzano at right back, Zapata. I would not have him there. I'd have this man at centre back next to Diamande, Kamara, Ferguson, Prendeville, very interesting, Orsolini, the big man up front, and Van Bommel. Now, if you look at this team, we have got a couple of free signings in here and some very, very cheap players as well. The signings we've made today have been incredibly cheap or free, so I'm somewhat happy with what we have done. I mean, yes, we've not won loads of UCL trophies. The reputation is now maxed out, to be fair. History-wise, we've done well. We've added, you know, a Champions League is massive. A Super Cup, a UEFA one's massive. Loads of Italian Cups, good amount of Serie A titles, and I mean, overall, I'm going to take this rebuild and I'm going to run with it. I'm quite happy with what we have done. I think it's been pretty strong. In terms of the money, if you are carrying on, welcome to my world. You've got 24 million to spend. The debts and loans are going on the down quite a fair bit. And to be honest with you, I think the team has definitely improved, because you've still got the likes of Fabian, who I will shout out at 18 and 10 for the last season. Jonathan David, 8 and 6. 11 and 13 from Roy. Do not forget about this winger. He will become a player. So, genuinely, I did have fun, but I struggled. And if you do want me to struggle in another Italian rebuild, leave a comment below with what team, because I do lose my head at Italian football. The budgets, the registration, I lose my head. But if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.